Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Sunday, August 4th, 2024. I've been doing a countdown of my favorite video games of all time through each day of the year, and coming in at number 150 is The Sims 3. Alright, so before we jump into the video, I just want to mention that the other day I did announce my Patreon. I'm not going to get into all of it here, but you can find a link in the description below to that video, so if you're interested in giving me money in exchange for benefits, then you can go check that out. Alright, on to the game. Originally, I was going to have a few Sims games on the list, but then decided that they were all close enough to each other I could just roll them all into my ranking for my favorite version of the game, The Sims 3. I'm going to talk about the game as intended, and then talk about how I interact with it. You create people and let them live, build a house, help them get a job, and navigate through the trials of life. You can have a whole family and work with them all, helping to ensure all of the conditions exist for them to flourish. One of the game's biggest strengths is that you can be as hands-on or hands-off as you want, letting things run their course and speeding through time, or micromanaging everything and pausing frequently to carefully consider your options. Of course, you can do lots of shades in the middle too. When making characters, you can, of course, customize their appearance in some pretty in-depth ways, but you can also get a ton of nitty-gritty personality customization with various traits and motivations. You can do sensible things, like make someone have a strong drive to help others with a life goal of being a doctor. That makes sense. Alternatively, you can go a little off the rails and be an evil fortune teller who wants nothing more than to sow chaos throughout the world by manipulating people via your fortunes. Once you make your Sims, you need to give them a place to live. There's a lot of different environments you can live in, which is largely based on preferred aesthetic, but depending on your goals with the Sim, different properties might help in a handful of ways. While you can just pick a place already there and move the family in, the real thing to do in the game is to build your house. Worried about money? Don't be! Unlike in real life, there's cheat codes and there's none of that pesky inflation in The Sims, making you more powerful than the Federal Reserve. Of course, if you want things to be more realistic and worry about the money and get all depressed and stuff and oh my god, why is it so expensive to just live? You can do that. I'm not gonna do that in a video game when I'm already doing it in real life. It's like truckers playing Truck Simulator. I don't get it. Building a house, you have some outrageously expansive options. While there's more items in The Sims 4 as far as models go, especially now that they've released a gazillion expansion packs, the amount of customizability you get in The Sims 3 is unparalleled, basically getting to edit the texture of the models to your heart's content, from color to materials and anything else you can think of. While I don't usually get that invested in the character creation, at least for me, in these games I've probably spent more time building houses than I have actually doing the simulation parts of the game. It's like doing the expansion content for Animal Crossing New Horizons, where you have a little thing and you gotta decorate their house for their vacation home, and then it's like, hey, you did it, good job, you're an awesome person. We're not paying you in money, but thanks. But you can actually do the things you want to do in this game. Each character has to have a goal or aspiration that they're working towards, like having a large family, or becoming a 5-star chef, or the emperor of the world, or a gold digger. The sky's the limit, and the replayability and options are basically endless. With these lifelong goals, you naturally can progress characters through different stages of life, starting even from infancy all the way through multiple generations in almost like a revolving door of geriatric care. Unless they don't make it that far, of course. Mwahahaha! The primary way that I play the game is as a glorified murder simulator. As basically God of this universe, you can manipulate all sorts of things whenever you want, and your subjects are too stupid to rely on survival instincts. You can build a pool and then have your Sims get in and then remove the ladder. Somehow, this makes it impossible for them to get out, and eventually they will just drown. Whenever a character dies, death shows up to escort them to wherever they're going. Characters can die in a multitude of ways, and you basically need to baby-proof the world even from your adult Sims if you want to ensure their safety. If you keep a multi-generation family in the same household and have them die in a long series of tragic events, turning your backyard slowly into a graveyard, eventually, death will get the message and even move into the house with you. Once he's around all the time, you can even seduce Death and woo-hoo with him and make little Death babies. Is this obsession with making the gameplay all about Death healthy? Who's to say? Does it make me a sociopath? Who's to say? Should I have been doing this with The Sims 2 when I was 10 years old? Probably not. Join me tomorrow as I talk about my 149th game where I beat the crap out of a clown on Christmas.